new confidence, that new liveliness that's going to be in the team today. And I don't think it's going to be a massive, Huddersfield Town going to win this now because they beat a crappy Stoke team on Tuesday. That's not it at all. I think there's just a real chance of a win today because the mentality is going to be different. We've got another 4 days of the Callies getting their ideas over again. I settled back forward again, and I just feel it'll be another progression from what we've already seen.
If you think of Hull's pedigree, Joe, in this division, how they finished after Atkinson's revival last year there, if Town can beat this Hull City team with their kind of international pedigree dotted around the team, then Town have got nothing to worry about, I don't think.
Well, Huddersfield Town and Hull City are just on the way out of the tunnel, out onto the pitch, just a couple of minutes from kick-off here on BBC Radio Leeds. It's time for me to hand you over to our matchday commentary team of Paul Ogden and Matt Glennon.
Proud to follow Huddersfield Town.
BBC Radio Leeds.
Good afternoon from the John Smith Stadium. BBC Radio Leeds Digital in the Championship with Huddersfield Town. And this is your Huddersfield Town commentary against Hull City for match day 11. Leeds United fans, as usual, more than happy for you to stay with us. But I think you'd rather be on FM, wouldn't you? FM BBC Radio Leeds for Millwall against Leeds United fans with Jonathan Buchan, Adam Pope and John Newsom down there at the Den today. Here, a grey, chilly afternoon for Huddersfield Town's first home game of October 2019 against Hull City. And if you missed the team news earlier, Town have made a change despite the win at Stoke. The starting lineup has been tweaked in one position. Adama Diakabi starts after coming off the bench with great impact on Tuesday night at Stoke. Diakabi instead of Fraser Campbell. And Fraser Campbell is a sub. The question is, who's going to play down the middle in the front three for Town? I've got a funny feeling it's going to be Elias Kachunga, but I could be wrong. Town with Grabara in goal, an unchanged back four: Simpson, Elphick, Schindler and Brown. Hogg, Chalobah and O'Brien in what for me is a triangular midfield formation really. And then three at the front end of the team: Diakabi, Kachunga and Grant. Still no sign of Alex Pritchard or Terence Kongolo. Huddersfield Town's bench in full is Bakuna, Tuesday night's goal scorer, Campbell, Mounier and Benza, Stankovic, Hadersinai and Schofield. A couple of changes for Hull. There's no Jackson Irvine, the ponytailed Australian and roommate of Aaron Moy, to the best of my knowledge. He's injured, we understand, and isn't on the team sheet. They have Long in goal, that's George Long, the ex-Sheffield United goalkeeper. A back four of Likai, Device, Burke and Fleming. Stewart, the ex-Tottenham player, Batty and Honeyman. And they have a 4-3-3 formation with the three up front: Jared Bowen, Eves, who scored the winner against Sheffield Wednesday on Tuesday, and the Polish international Brzezinski. Hull in the gold and black. They haven't really got a stripe kit anymore in the shirt. They've got the tiger stripes, but it's more of a claw scratch, isn't it? The black trail on the front of the jersey, which is predominantly gold. It's a black chest and collarbone stripe. Interesting design. To me it looks more like a rugby league. I think Castleford Tigers wore something very, very similar recently. But it's still black and gold. And the Hull fans on the road are making a decent noise to match that you can hear in the background from the Cowshed Lorry. Match day 11. How about a home win for the first time for Danny Cowley and his brother Nicky? Grant fouls his opponent as the ball bounces down the right side of the Huddersfield Town's kickoff. I think Diakabi might have been a culprit there as well. And Hull City, with their giant former PSV Eindhoven centre half running away from the ball, are going to leave the free kick for George Long to take. Left-footed, he drives it high and finds the head of Tom Eames. It's headed away by Brown. Arriving on the edge of the penalty area is George Honeyman, but he can't get his shot off. And the ex-Sunderland Academy player fails to control it. It balloons out of play for a goal kick to Huddersfield Town, who are defending the fantastic stand to our left and attacking from left to right towards the south stand end. Blue and white stripes, white shorts, white socks against gold and black, worn by Hull City, our visitors. And now's a free kick for a foul on Elias Kachunga. Formation-wise, Matty, looks like Grant in the middle.
Yeah, looks like it. I don't know if the Callers would have seen much of Kachunga playing up front. You might have mentioned it to him that I've played there a couple of times, boss. But I think Grant's the way to go, especially with the goals he scored this season already.
Kachunga has started on the left-hand side, drags the ball away from Batty. Batty just leans across him and makes the tackle, and the ball's out of play, says the official, for a Hull City throw-in. Must have come off Kachunga's shin pads. Eric Lehigh, the burly right back, we've seen him more recently in Nottingham Forest, ex-Leeds United, skipper at Hull City, and he whips the ball with strength down the right side. It bounces for the towering figure of Tom Eames to pick up. He lays it back, the cross goalwards, but under hit by Jarrod Bowen. Is plucked out of the air by the green-kitted Kamil Grabara of Huddersfield Town, who's up against his countryman Grzycki, who's playing down the left of the Hull City attack. A confident bowl out, and then he gets it back, does Kamil Grabara. Here is Christopher Schindler dragging the ball away from Eames, and then he finds Jonathan Hogg. Hogg brings in Tommy Elphick, and Elphick looks upfield with a straight run and a little scurrying dribble. Likewise Jonathan Hogg, who steers the ball back to Elphick, and Huddersfield Town carry it up towards halfway. Lovely measured ball down the left flank by Christopher Schindler, who did everything he could, but even Jaden Brown wasn't quick enough to stop the bounce of the ball, taking it away from him and out of play for a throw into Hull City down the right hand side. Yeah,
there's definitely a bit of influence in Karlan Grant's play from the Callers already. He's doing that dummy run of stepping forward, going back in again, then making that second run. But it just means Elphick and Schindler need to be on the same wavelength as him to see when he actually does that. A couple of players have done it, I've noticed, since the Callers have come in. That dummy step back.
0-0 between Huddersfield Town and Hull City. Diakabi avoids the shot opportunity and finds Danny Simpson down the right hand side. Simpson's got it again now. Jonathan Hogg gets a man on shout from behind. Arrives Tom Eames and makes the tackle. The home fans think that's a foul, but the referee says play on. And then the ball's put out of play rather scruffily by Hull City as they break out of their own defence. Grzycki, the culprit.
It's a great shout from the crowd, but Hogg has got to do it quicker. You can't dwell there. There's a chance there just to hit the ball first time. 2 touches at the very, very most, because you're in the ascendancy. And you've got a player over on the right hand side with Simpson, who looks like he's wanting to get forward this afternoon as well. Obviously feels he's got in his legs today.
And coming back from a spell of your career with no club, Matty, then Simpson with every single training session, surely he's going to improve his sharpness.
Oh, definitely. He's, you know what I mean, his physique, everything, he'll be looking leaner, sharper. You'll see a real athlete, because he's played a lot of football in his time.
Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0 on BBC Radio Leeds Digital. A cautious build-up by Huddersfield Town with Diakabi playing down the right-hand side. He miscontrols it, shows an awful lot of that to Fleming, the left-back, and Fleming just steps away from him and is then fouled by Diakabi, who will not want to see the video replay of that particular passage of play.
Yeah, he was through as well there. He just wanted to show the Hull City player the eyes, because he had all that green grass to run into there. Unfortunately, he just couldn't get it past him. It was a good effort though, And the foul there, I thought he got a nick of the ball. I'm going to be ultra kind this afternoon. I thought he just had a whiff of it.
Ball's out of play on the far side, and Jaden Brown will take the throw-in. Taking it backwards towards Christopher Schindler, who's happy to receive and start Town's next possession, using every single blade of grass available. Kamil Grabara, standing on his byline, receives it, and then threads it back. Eaves towards Schindler. Schindler finds Hogg, who curves it carefully round Grosicki's position to find Danny Simpson. Early ball forward for Chalobah, who triggered it with the run down the channel. Nice skill by Chalobah to find Diakabi, but the header away drops straight to Lewis O'Brien, who gets his first touch after a good 6 minutes of play. Diakabi's cross down the right, it's sent away by Batty and well controlled by George Hunneman, still inside his penalty area, but he's closed down by Diakabi, which draws warm, appreciative applause from the home fans and a massive thumbs up from Nicky Cowley, who absolutely loved that from Adama Diakabi.
Yeah, well, Chalobah there, good play. Danny Simpson just sees that late run of his, the perfect ball into his path, and a beautiful just outside of the right foot pass by Chalobah into Diakabi, who doesn't waste any time by getting the ball into the box.
Huddersfield 0, Hull 0. The Mac Lennon derby.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Stadium was a bit different as well, wasn't it? Back in the...
Well, I was in both.
Really?
In both, yeah. Yeah, I forgot the name of the old stadium. Boothry Park. That was a place to play football. Fans ride on top of you there, baying for blood. And then obviously moved into the very polite stadium up the road.
Yeah. Huddersfield Town have a throw-in. Good closing down has forced Device to slice his clearance out of play, and it's a good field position for Danny Simpson to set things up. He gets the ball back from Colin Grant, but it's a slow delivery, and Danny Simpson ran out of pitch before he controlled it. It's come off Hull, and it's a repeat throw-in. Town working into space for Simpson again. Early ball, low to the near post. Device shins it away, and it's another throw-in for Town, who are looking very nicely structured in the build-up play, particularly down this right-hand side. 0-0 after 7 minutes.
Yeah, that's a lovely ball. Danny Simpson, nice and early there, just curls it just inside the Sheik Yard box. Hull defender's got no option but to come and put a long ball through it, but you never know when you put them balls into that area. Just need a little bit more pressure on him in the 6 yard there when that sort of cross is going in.
Town need a runner for Danny Simpson near the right edge of the penalty area. Carlin Grant obliges, nutmegs Grosicki, who's back defending, but not convincingly, and Town are allowed to work the ball towards Trevor Chalobah by Elphick. Hogg pings it right, finds Simpson with an early ball, and here's Diakabi hesitating slightly to get onto Simpson's pass. Across comes the big Dutchman, Yuri Device, to put it out of play for a throw-in. And Town are building and pressing and keeping Hull penned in their own half. 0-0. Impressive start by Town. They look solid and formidable. Simpson lays it into space. Chalobah says, I'll have it, and he'll play it back towards Schindler just inside his own half. Schindler says, who wants it, with his facial expression. Nobody particularly convincingly, so he plays it back towards Grabara, and Schindler has it again. He'll square it to Elphick.
It'd be interesting to see if Eaves can keep this running up. He's chasing everything down at the minute at full pace as well. It takes some effort to get all the way through the game doing that.
Chalobah is muscled out of it by Honeyman, a much smaller man. But after Honeyman's square pass is picked off by Lewis O'Brien, Huddersfield Town have it again. And Eaves, who looks like his deposed teammate Jackson Irvine, a bit taller maybe, even more strapping than the Aussie. Eaves chases round again as Huddersfield Town play the ball back to Camille Grabara. Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0. 23rd against 14th in the table. Hull played 10 like Town, have won 3, drawn 4, lost 3. But they had a shocking start to the season, really, losing all their 3 matches in August before Grant McCann, the new manager, got things going. And now he watches Rhys Burke, the tall centre half, drive the ball down the right side. Jaden Brown volleys it back towards halfway, and Town pick it up. Quick thinking by Kachunga, and he's found Chalobah. Tommy Elphick cuts the pass towards Jonathan Hogg. One touch back towards Elphick. Town finding space and dictating the pattern of the game. Only Tommy Eaves stays upfield for Hull City. Town knock it forward early. Is Grant onside? Grant is onside. Oh. He works it around the outside of the keeper. Did the keeper make the block outside the penalty area? The referee thinks about it. He must have been right on his line, George Long, when he blocked that attempted angled shot by Carlin Grant, who completely flummoxed the Hull City offside trap.
He must have been really, really confident he was still in his area. Very, very close to the line. That I just felt he was. But his body might have been slightly in the area, but his hands looked like they were out there. But good ball from Schindler straight into Grant. There does seem to be an area just in behind the back four. If you time your run right and you get the ball right, that you're going to get some space and some joy, because that's twice now. Chalabar and then Grant, who seem to have acres of space, because I don't know if they hold a solid line or they squeeze out a little bit too early. But they're not quite switched on.
And if they do have to turn, they don't do it particularly quickly.
No, Titanic does come to mind.
Huddersfield Town 0, Hull 0. We're not in the business of replays, you know that already.
You shouldn't be booing the goalkeeper, you've got to boo the ref. He's got to do anything he can to not concede.
Yeah. So you may be able to work it out for yourself on the various highlights options that are available between now and Sunday breakfast. But that looked close. Town press again, and Burke is forced into conceding a throw-in. This is a good start by Town. Very solid and aggressive, but measured.
Measured, I think measured the word, and a structure and a way of playing, because it's not a fluke. They're doing it time and time again and getting into decent areas.
Jaden Brown has the ball in his hands, and Town have a throw-in. Level with the virtual halfway point of Hull City's half, and Town gave it away, but Jaden Brown has won it back, and here's Lewis O'Brien skipping away from Batty in the Hull midfield. He plays it back, safety first to halfway. Elphick, Simpson turns the pass carefully for Chalabar. Diakabi running around the outside, has got space to collect and cross. Left-footed delivery, near post, and it's almost served up for Chalabar in the penalty area by Reece Burke's challenge. The clearance has fallen back to Town. Simpson hogs ball into the box. Kachunga, Lehigh beats him in the air, and the ball's brought down by Jarrett Bowen. Even his clearance is blocked by Jaden Brown of Huddersfield Town. Yeah,
Jonathan Hogg needs to look right there. Diakabi's got all the space in the world to get hold of that ball and put it into the box again. It's a decent knock into the 6-yard box. Good pace on it, just unfortunately the Town player just didn't get there quick enough.
Hull have the ball with it. Lehigh throw-in on the Kilner Bank side of the ground. Still 0-0 between Huddersfield and Hull. And Hull's possession is of no consequence. Grabara's got it for Huddersfield Town on the edge of his penalty area. Schindler gives it to him again. Grabara now goes down the right towards his other centre-half, Tommy Elphick. Elphick rolls the ball under his blades, gets it back from Hogg. Elphick's got it again, he's taking his time, but Town are in control. One-touch pass by Simpson releases Chalabar, who in turn finds Diakabi. Diakabi's dink ball into the box. Here's O'Brien, but he couldn't control it on the run. And it's hacked away by Kevin Stewart. Town are finding the openings. Here's Chalabar again, drawing Fleming towards him. He'll find Diakabi easily on the byline. Now the cross sent away by Batty for a throw-in. And Hull are really scrambling now.
Yeah, that's really good work from Batty, actually chasing back from midfield, because that was coming straight to O'Brien with enough time to take a touch and get a strike on goal. I told you, Diakabi's pace is absolutely fearing, putting the fear of death in Hull today. He's getting so much space.
Hull's decision has been to absorb Huddersfield Town. They've certainly not penetrated. Honeyman in space blew his chance of asking any question of Camille Grabara in the Huddersfield Town goal. That's all we've seen of Hull in the final third. It's been all Town possession as well so far. Hull in the gold and black pick it up with Fleming. He finds the pole, Grosicki down the left side, and he squares it infield towards Batty, who brings in Reece Burke, the ex-Bradford and West Ham player, a giant centre-half alongside his partner Device. Lehigh finds Reece Burke again, and now Device controls it on his left foot, works it round the outside for Honeyman, but then it comes off Grosicki, I beg your pardon, and then off Chalabar, and Grosicki feels it to play it all the way back towards George Long. Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0. BBC Radio Leeds Digital, and Reece Burke plays a 1-2 with Lehigh. There is a little bit of caution from both teams at times in this early stage of the game. And Hull play it across their back four by the keeper. Burke finds Lehigh, who chips it up towards halfway and beyond. Eaves gets a clever twisting header beyond Tommy Elphick, but there's nobody behind Eaves to pick it up, and Christopher Schindler fields it and works it back to Grabara. Grabara almost left it too late. He's been closed down by Eaves, who's a bit of a Michael Heffler lookalike. And Town have lost the ball short of halfway, playing it out of their own defence. Eaves links with Stewart. Stewart looks up, carries the ball across the field before laying it off towards Batty, and Batty curves it round the outside towards the waiting Lehigh. Lehigh's square ball is intercepted by Kachunga, and Town work well together to find Grant with the clearance. Grant pushed over by Burke, and Town look untroubled, very well drilled in defence.
Yeah, nice little ball from Brown into Grant, just used his body as well, just rolled the defender and took the foul. But as you say, look very confident in defence. Grabara just waiting a little bit too long there. Everyone's heart in the mouths when he does play the ball to Elphick in the end. But again, didn't get flustered by anything, just a little ball into Simpson, who played around the corner.
Early run by Grant as he sprung the offside trap again. Yes,
that's a
but
chance.
He couldn't control it.
That's a chance.
The flick free kick over the top by Schindler, and the Hull City defenders, if they did react, it was in the formation of a dog's back leg.
Well, he's thrown the eyes. Schindler, he's aimed his body towards playing it to the right hand side and just cut it back into the middle.
Bowen collects the ball in space for Hull, cuts in field onto his left foot, thinks about a shot, but Jonathan Hogg monitors his movements and blocks that opportunity. Honeyman is tackled by Kachunga, who's working well in defence in this first half. And the only time Huddersfield Town look vulnerable inside their own half is when they've got the ball themselves. Early ball into the box, and a poor option really by Hull from deep. Grabara well positioned to catch it behind his well organised offside trap. Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0. Hull had a good thumping win on the road at Luton, but have lost a couple at home to Blackburn and Bristol in the opening phase of the season. No real pattern to their results so far. And Christopher Schindler carries the ball up towards halfway. Jared Bowen closes down Jaden Brown, but Kachunga's been tackled by Lehigh, and the gold shirts of Hull have it again. Burke works it back to Long. Stewart underhits the pass to Burke in the right back position, but Burke gets there first and lifts it high. Eaves nudges Schindler as the two of them go up in the air. And that's a free kick to Huddersfield Town, which is taken quickly, and Chalobah works it across to this right hand side, and Diakabi's on the run again against Fleming, who can't read it. Diakabi's cross behind Grant, and it's headed away by Device, but straight to Danny Simpson, who bites once and twice in the tackle against Zizitsky, and it's out of play for a goal kick. Simpson working hard, and he's shown us what he can really do now with every game that passes.
Yeah, he is. He keeps the ball well. Not really seen him give a single pass away this afternoon, even if it's round the corner, long or short. Diakabi in a good area there. It's not a fantastic ball into the box, no, but he's got so little options. Nobody's taking a chance and giving him something a little bit more to aim for around that 6-yard box.
Jaden Brown has held Jared Bowen and prevented him from taking the return pass from midfield, delivered by Batty. Free kick has been given to Hull, very close to the right touchline and short of halfway by about 10 yards. The Kilnabank watches on as the backdrop from our point of view here in the main stand. No booking for Jaden Brown, although I think if he does it again he might see a yellow card. Lehigh gets the ball back from Stewart, and it's extremely careful, some of Hull's play. Not careful enough. Lewis O'Brien has nicked the ball off Stewart, who is far too ponderous, and O'Brien is tricky, and he turns directions from left to right, but Chalobah's pass is poor, and he's picked off by Fleming.
Really poor. He's got two good runners there as well. All he's got to do is just make sure he gets the pace on the ball, and either Grant or Diakabi's through on goal.
And what is frustrating is that Lewis O'Brien's good work was completely undone. supportive applause for O'Brien from the home fans. Here's Danny Simpson, plays it behind the run of Chalobah to find Grant. Chalobah's ball into the box now from wide, is intercepted by Device. And Diakabi closes down Honeyman's attempts to clear. Hull just can't get out of their own half.
No, they can't. But Chalobah needs to tighten up his game. A couple of instances there in the last couple of minutes where he should have done better. The pass, the control. He's making good runs. He's working hard. He's tackling well. He needs to make sure his intended pass gets where it's supposed to go.
Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0. BBC Radio Leeds Digital will take your contributions as usual on text and Twitter before we take your fans forum calls after the match with Joe refereeing the whole shebang. Hull in possession, and Stewart thinks about a ball upfield. He turns away from Lewis O'Brien. O'Brien chases, rats, keeps running, squeezes up on George Long to force him to hurry the clearance. That's a good delivery by Long's left foot though, and Schindler nods it back into Hull's half. Lehigh skillfully, with decent balance, turns it infield to stop the throw-in being conceded, finds Honeyman, and here's Jarrod Bowen running it into Elias Kachunga. Lehigh helps him out, and now Batty angles the ball towards half way and beyond, finds Honeyman, who brings it in field. Bowen's on the run, and Bowen, dragging the defender with him, wins Hull's first corner off the blocking challenge of Jaden Brown. Hull will deliver the corner from the right hand side. 0-0.
Yeah, first time they showed a bit more pace. Wanted to actually get behind Huddersfield's back four for the first time. But Jaden Brown again just moves his feet well, just gets the block in. A little bit of defending to do. They've got some big lads. They've got a corner. Looks like they've worked on here. They're all stood on the corner of the 18-yard box. A very peculiar one right now.
Strange position. A cluster of Hull players on the near corner of the penalty box, waiting the corner delivery from Grzycki. He turns it short. Everybody bar Bowen has run away. Bowen returns the pass to Grzycki, waiting onside on the byline. But Lewis O'Brien has read it beautifully and stays with his man. That's good skill on the right though from Batty, who now crosses, but it's headed away by Elphick. It's volleyed back into the box by Batty. A spectacular diving clearing header by Elphick stops Hull's attack, and with 22 minutes gone, it's Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0, and Schindler is down injured.
I'm not sure about the Hull City corner there, all the theatre of the corner. Didn't work at all. They basically ran from the corner of the 18-yard box, ran to the edge of the 6-yard box, just stood there. Someone just picked them up and marked them. So a bit of a peculiar one.
I can't say I ever saw Grant McCann try and deploy that at Doncaster Rovers.
No, because no one's ever tried to deploy that before, because there's a very good reason for it. Because it didn't work.
Now Christopher Schindler is down, and he's not out, but he does look hurt. And they are having a very careful look at a man who often goes back to the Schindler household on a Saturday tea time with cuts, bruises.
It does remind me of Nathan Clark a lot. Nathan's face was constantly cut. It was a stitch every single game. It seemed to be just one of those players who seems to always get a good smash. Obviously, if you look at Nathan now, you can tell he took a few blows.
If you're listening, Clarkie.
Hopefully he's playing and winning.
For Halifax Town, where he's doing a magnificent job. And Schindler's still down, by the way. And they're having a careful look at him.
Got the torch out. They're doing the old concussion test.
Yeah. And actually, we saw this administered to Christopher Schindler as recently as Tuesday night at Stoke City, where he put his head in a dangerous place.
Yeah. He's bought his own torch now, so he can do the concussion test to himself.
It'll be branded. Sean Jarvis will be on it straight away.
Yeah. He does though. That's one thing about Schindler is, there's a few games this year that he's probably cost goals, and his form's not been at the top level where it has been since he's been at the club. But he will always put his body there, always put himself on the line, always put the team first.
Amazingly, on Tuesday night we had a stoppage this long at Stoke. We had the torch, we had the smelling salts. Schindler came back on and played an important role in the final phase of Town's 1-0 win, their first of the season. This is a very long stoppage. Device has come over to check the welfare of his opposite number in the clash that resulted in Schindler's injury. He's up on his... he's sitting up now, but still on his backside, actually. And I'd be surprised if Schindler takes any further part here, Matty.
You see Doug Fieldman, he's been around a long time.
Yeah, he's groggy.
He won't let him play if he's not right.
Long stoppage this. It takes a lot to stop Christopher Schindler from completing a football match. But I think Jon Stankovic is going to be needed soon. He's stretching. He, the centre-half option for Town on the bench. Town's bench as a whole includes Haderjanai, Mounier, Campbell and Benza and Bakuna, besides Ryan Schofield, the keeper. Remember, Terence Congolo still not quite yet ready after injury. Schindler back on his feet. That's the reason for the applause. He's been helped off to this near side. And you wouldn't bet against Schindler coming back on. He's that sort of guy, isn't he?
No, you wouldn't bet against it at all. He's sent the stretcher people back to their little seating place.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's putting his... Oh, captain's armband, I think, it's just come off.
Yeah, shirt's coming off. Shirt's coming off.
Oh no, maybe blood, that's what it is. A little bit of blood on there.
So it's the...
What a fresh shirt. He's been a prima donna. Arguably never knew this about Christopher Schindler. I don't play games without at least 2 or 3 shirts.
I think...
Yeah, he must have got a little cut. That's probably why all the time it took.
Health and safety rule, fresh shirt, and Hull are in possession. Schindler back on the field. 0-0. Grosicki goes round the outside of Town's defence. It's played back from the near post by Honeyman. Fleming picks it up on the edge of the box. There's a big get out shout. Jaden Brown jumps athletically high to stop the ball reaching Eaves. And is it then handball as it comes out of the
No, just a foul on Lewis O'Brien. But look at Brookie. Brookie showed some pace there with that shirt. Kitman of over 1,000 games now. One of the best in the business. Showed that burst that Huddersfield Sunday League has seen many a time, until he usually got sent off.
So if the Schindler household is listening,
he's back.
He's on.
I think it's a knock on the top of his head, so obviously a bit groggy, maybe a little splattering of blood. So we know straight away you have to change your shirt now.
Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0. Grabara drives the ball from his penalty area downfield. It's headed away by Fleming, but Kachunga volleys the pass low, where Grant picks it up on the edge of the penalty area. Jaden Brown has overlapped down the left-hand side and wants the ball short from Grant. Gets it, but he's surrounded by gold shirts. Still digs out the cross. Out comes Long and catches it one bounce right in front of him. Dangerous for the goalkeeper, and he took it well, George.
Did well. Good from Kachunga as well. He's got to put that sort of pressure on the goalkeeper. It's a bouncing, horrible ball. Anything can happen.
A committed Stewart had already run to try and check Christopher Schindler, who'd made one header and made a second stooping low. It was an honest but late foul by Stewart. No malice. Referee checks Schindler's welfare. He's been in the wars already, but he's fine.
He's going to look forward to that glass of German beer tonight when he gets up before that international break.
I bet he's like Joe Townsend. Glass of fizzy water and a bag of sesame seeds.
No one else could be that boring, surely.
Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0, and Hull have possession. Grosicki's been fouled. Referee waves play on. Diakabi fails to nail Fleming, the running left back, and he gets his cross off. Town should have stopped it. Honeyman's shot is smothered by Grabara. A weak shot, but it was on target, and Town should have stopped that attack at source, really.
Should have been stopped at source, but also wow, Honeyman got so much space inside the 18-yard box. Lewis O'Brien should be having a look over his shoulder and saying, yep, there's a man there, I've got to go and take him. I think Hogg could have nailed him a lot earlier than that, though, before the ball went into the box. Plenty of opportunity.
Homegrown Brandon Fleming, the left back, showing some pace and feted as a homegrown product by the Hull City fans. That's their first proper attack, and they might have done better. Lewis O'Brien jumps aggressively and flicks it towards Carlin Grant, but Device is there. There were some brave headers going in here from both sides.
Oh, referee.
That was a bit of a soft free kick won by the smallest man on the field, George Honeyman. A little tickle from behind by Trevor Chalobah, and the ref says free kick. This is Huddersfield against Hull, sir. You're allowed to tackle each other.
Well, there's a little bit of feistiness in the game in here, which is good. Showing a little bit of passion there as well. Chalobah, I didn't see anything quite wrong with that, to be fair. He just went into him, got his head there first. To be fair, could have got himself hurt as well, and got the header.
George Long wearing a beard these days. I don't think he was quite as impressively bearded when he was the young Sheffield United goalkeeper.
Different times, Oggy, different times.
Yeah, fashion changes. He belts it left-footed downfield. Up goes Schindler again. He even beats his own teammate Kachunga to that one. But it was Tom Eaves behind them they were worried about. And the ball's out of play for a throw-in. Not a match to write home about in terms of a spectacle, but Town are moving the ball well when they allow themselves to. They've gone for solidity today, but it is a proper contest, and Town are right in it against a muscular, pedigree championship opponent here.
Yeah, definitely. And if we look back and actually look at crosses into the box by Town and runs made and the defending that's going on as well, you'd say, yeah, they're doing well. Instances like this.
Chalobah's ball, nicely measured to Carlin Grant down the right-hand side. Device just possesses Grant, but the ball's out of play. And Huddersfield Town have got more possession upfield in the form of a corner from the right-hand side in front of a fairly unimpressed looking Hull travelling support. There's a couple of thousand of them in there, maybe 1,800, maybe just short of 2,000. 0-0 between Huddersfield Town and Hull. Giacabbi from the short corner by Grant overhits his long cross. Chalobah casual about trying to keep it in play.
Yeah, casual's a good word.
So.
I think if he makes a run a little bit earlier, it wouldn't have been as bad a ball as it looked from Giacabbi. Decent little corner, decent little routine as well. Maybe a foot too high, but I just felt if Chalobah really believed he was going to get there, he could have done something else with it.
Lichai's on it, but closed down by Kachunga, who's working well positionally in this first half as a defender when the need arises. 32 minutes gone. Space for Jarrod Bowen to turn.
Referee.
Tackle from behind by Jonathan Hogg. Referee says that Hogg nicked his ankle before getting quite a lot of the ball as well. Yellow card for Jonathan Hogg, and that is his second in successive matches, his third of the season already.
Third of the season already. It's a long way to go to get through without getting five or six.
Well, usually has a suspension in a routine season, Jonathan Hogg, doesn't he? It's part of his game. But he had to take one for the team there because one of Hull's most dangerous players, Jarrod Bowen, was sprinting away and into a gap with the central defenders struggling to get in position quick enough.
Shootable free kick though. Say 30 yards, just short of. Decent angle as well.
Half-time slowly approaching. Hull have been conservative in their attacking, but this is definitely a shootable free kick.
Well, we've seen teams come here before, second half where they come out Reading. They had a plan for the first half. We talked about the fact that Huddersfield didn't have one. We think they're going to have that now with the Cowleys, but definitely try and get to half-time against Huddersfield and you'll get your chance in the second half. We're hoping those days have gone.
Hull City's first shootable free kick, slightly right of centre, but generally quite central position. Either the Pole, Grosicki or Jarrod Bowen will strike it. There's a four-man wall for Huddersfield Town. It's a good 25 yards out the position for the free kick, and Town need to focus. Grosicki strikes it. Curler just over the bar. It actually skimmed the top of the bar, and Grabara was flying through the air. That was close, but wide.
It was just a little bit of diving practice for Grabara. I think he knew it was going over. It was a good 3 inches over the crossbars, so he always in control. Decent strike though, but I think he always had it covered.
Town's clearance has fallen straight to Stewart, who handles the ball in central midfield, and it's a free kick to Huddersfield Town.
That overplay though, again, I'll get that overplay at the back. Yeah, sometimes it's on, sometimes it's not. You've got a willing runner in Eaves there who you know is going to close you down, especially in the first half as well, and stop you playing. They'll have watched Town this season and know that they can get themselves into trouble there. luckily it was a handball because there was a bit of an overload from Hull City players as well.
The two midfields exchange possession. Lewis O'Brien wins it back and beats Kachunga, who stumbles his way forward. Hull put the tackles in, but they're not clearing just yet. Fleming was scratching his clearance, but now Honeyman tries to supply the running Grzycki down the left-hand side. Tommy Elphick reads it well and clears up. Now Huddersfield Town come forward. Hull have left Lewis O'Brien all alone. He brings in Jaden Brown, who shoots, and it's blocked by George Long. Chance for Town.
What a great ball from Danny Simpson though. Little one round the corner. Everyone thinks he's going down the line to Derek Cowby. Comes inside to Lewis O'Brien, who's got loads of space because everyone thinks he's going down the right hand side. Plays a lovely ball to Jaden Brown and unfortunately just can't beat Long in the Hull City goal.
Lovely layoff as well by Lewis O'Brien. The vision, the weight of the pass from both Simpson and O'Brien in succession. Town are coming up with some real quality today. Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0 though. 35 minutes gone. Device in space from Stewart. He knocks it over the top. Schindler goes back there and dives in front of the running Eaves. Has to make the header, which he does. Steering it back to his keeper Gabara in a do-or-die header situation for a central defender. If he'd missed that, Eaves was in.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to miss it. Jaffer. He's backpedaling. It looked like a decent ball, but he just moved his feet well. Great decision, great technique as well to get the ball all the way back to the goalkeeper. Never in doubt.
Schindler scoops the pass high over the top of the cluster of Hull City midfielders, you should say, and Jaden Brown brings it back infield for Schindler. Huddersfield 0, Hull 0. Danny Simpson's pass square. I think it might have been intended for Elphick, but it was fetched anyway by Hogg, and Jonathan Hogg's got it just behind the centre circle in his own half. O'Brien works it back to Schindler, who's closed down by Batty. Grabara knocks it towards Elphick, and now Elphick 10 yards short of halfway, chips it over the top. Diakabi had turned his back on the play and had stepped offside without realising it. Hull read his movement well and trapped him quite easily with the offside.
Yeah, they did. Still feel Town are just a little bit nice still, aren't they? That real cutting edge, that real, you know what I mean, belief that they're going to score that goal and beat this team isn't quite there. Like, they're playing well and they're creating some lovely chances and opportunities, but you just don't feel they have that real belief that they're going to go and score that goal.
Elphick's pass upfield is picked off by Kevin Stewart, and Stewart shoots against the back of his teammate Eaves, who was standing offside anyway. When the opportunity does arrive, Hull are unconvincing in the final third, I must say that.
Yeah, they are, but Hogg needs to be careful. That's twice he's been ghosted past now by the slightest piece of movement. Usually he snaps in the tackle and I know he's been booked already, but he usually makes sure he gets the ball, even if he gets a little tickle of the man as well.
Elphick works the ball upfield with a very precise pass to halfway. Carlan Grant collects it despite being surrounded by Hull players. He's got space to do so, and Town working across their back four. Jaden Brown's pass isn't controlled despite a couple of attempts by Lewis O'Brien, and Likai will take the throw. Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0. Stewart in turn risky with his ball in towards Grzycki. Danny Simpson makes the tackle and gets applause from the home fans. Hull pick it up after the ball is switched across the park, but they don't keep it for long because Schindler has outrun Tom Eaves, and the ball's back with Grabara, whose delivery outwards is a little bit ambitious, having Danny Simpson stretch for it, and Simpson's not going to reach that. It's out for a throw into Hull City.
No, Danny Simpson's not going to appreciate that. Right idea for Guerrero though is that the ball was on, just unfortunately he wasn't precise enough with his pass.
Likai and Reesberg scooting across his own back line, and Hull briefly give it away before Device picks it up again. His first time ball is intercepted by Chalobah, and now Huddersfield Town can start a, we hope, cohesive attack from the halfway line. But Simpson's pass towards Chalobah is
referee. Referee.
Honeyman dives. I don't think he was anywhere near the ball anyway.
No one even appealed for it.
But the ref's given a free kick in Hull City's favour. Scrappy now.
Usually your first sign, if the team that's been given the free kick doesn't actually appeal for it, it usually isn't.
Absolutely. The Vice squares it for Riesberg. And now Batty points in the direction of where he wants his teammates to run. Schindler intercepts in the air again with a header forward. Handball against Hull City after Schindler's header. And Town will get a free kick 10 yards inside their own half. The attacking threat sporadic at best for both teams, but it's not a game with the long, eventless periods of Tuesday nights. Sometimes agonising watch at Stoke, Matty.
No, there's actually something at the end of it usually, if it's a cross or a through ball or some way of trying to score instead of just coming to a horrible end in the middle third.
I think there's a quality of control here. I think there is some reasoning behind Town's careful build-up, and Hull's for that matter.
I was going to say they definitely is from Hull as well. They've seen what's happened at the John Smiths a couple of times.
Diakabi skips away from Chalobah as the two of them converge, following a double dribble by Diakabi and a foul by Hull. The referee played advantage and the free kick has eventually gone Town's way. They take it down the right but too quickly, and very ambitiously Danny Simpson curves the ball towards Karlan Grant's run down the inside right channel, but Grant failed to control it, and it's a goal kick after all. But Diakabi on the run is one of the finest sights in modern day Huddersfield Town, and their playbook options.
Yes, and it drags Hull all over the place. I must admit, Grant, just even a little bit of movement, not even complicated movement, he's getting space in behind. Just a little drop of the shoulder here, there, and as long as his teammates are on the same wavelength as him, he's going to get chances, more so in the second half.
George Long left foots the ball clear again. It's chested down by Bowen. He almost loses it before he turns it back to Riesberg on the halfway line, but then the Hayes ball forward is lacking in quality. Schindler picks it up and plays a nice neat 1-2 with Kamil Grabara, his goalkeeper. It's Batty who's ratting around in front of them. Now Town run out of pitch, but Schindler still works it upfield towards Kachunga. Lovely touch and turn infield towards Lewis O'Brien, and O'Brien's fouled by Stewart.
Yeah, so one of my little pet hates there. Schindler decides he wants the keeper to come. Grabara's made a decision, I'm not coming, so give me the ball. Stop shielding the ball because I'm not coming. So just I'll give you 10 yards. Give me the ball, then give me an angle to give you the pass back, which Grabara does, but you get that little ooh in the crowd. You get Schindler chucking his arms up in the air. Good from the goalkeeper because he's made a decision. He's not gone half one way, half the other.
But it certainly shreds the nerves of the home fans, because they can see the opposition getting closer to the
you can, but he's made a decision. So as long as the other person, sticks to the little agreement they've made that I'm not coming, give me the ball, never a problem.
Chalobah from Karlan Grant's one-touch pass, crisp towards Simpson in his delivery, and now Karlan Grant steps away from Stewart. Left-footed shot, deflected and palmed away well for a corner by George Long. Nice improvisation by Karlan Grant, who's now appealing for Jaden Brown to take up a better position.
Players want options. Yep. More than likely wants to get a strike up and score goals, but if it's not possible, then give me something, get into a good position. Well, Grant did do well there because he was falling and managed to get up and get a strike off. Gets his team a corner.
Half-time approaching rapidly, and Huddersfield Town trying to break the deadlock with a corner from the right. Diakabi lofts it too high and too near the keeper. George Long catches and bowls out. Now Hull have a counter-attack led by Jarrod Bowen. He finds Eves, who drills one left-footed across the face of goal. Jaden Brown did well to get that, and Eves wasted the chance with the counter-attack.
Yeah, again, very nice of you to say drilled there. He didn't quite do it. He was getting the corner post where we were. Stood it like he hit it well. Interesting, Diakabi taking corners.
Yes.
So Grant taking off corners, is that because he's in a different area? He's not a wide man anymore. So if you're not a wide man, you don't take corners.
I like the variety of it.
Is that the first? Is that the first different person to take one under the Cowleys?
Could be. We've watched Colin Grant take a few.
Yeah. You can see Joe there screwing on his phone to find out for us. Oh no, he's just checking his Facebook account.
Giacobbe brings the ball down, wins a throw-in. Midway inside the whole half. 2 minutes left of first half normal time. I think there'll be a couple at least added on because of the stoppage for Schindler's head injury. It's still Huddersfield 0-0. Simpson finds Hogg. Hogg's ball forward is collected by Grant, but he'd stepped back from an offside position. As soon as he touched it, the flag was up.
Yeah, he's a mile off there. He's got to be looking across the line. That's just a little bit of switching off. If Town are to play a faster, more free-flowing kind of football, players can't afford to not be switched on and just an easy possession give back there to Hull.
You probably hear the rhythmic chanting of the Hull fans in the background. They seem to be quite enjoying themselves.
Yeah, they've off the island for an afternoon. It's always nice. Passports to the ready.
The team's not delivering much for him to cheer about, but it's Huddersfield Town 0-0. Eves collects a ball over the top, drives one to the near post, and Grabara parries it for a corner. That was heading goalwards by Eves, who's a powerful boy up front for Hull.
He is. Hard worker as well. Good pace on it. Well, it's a decent angle. Say Jaden Brown's made him go wide. Means he can't see too much of the goal. Grabara stands up, makes a good save at his near post. Hull can't decide who's taking the corner though, so it could be here a while.
First half injury time, 3 minutes are going to be added on. Agreziski is going to deliver the corner from Hull's right hand side. Still no score with half time almost upon us. Flattish delivery, far post. Rhys Burke's up in the air, but he nods over the bar, and it's a real looping header too, which does not threaten Grabara's goal.
Well, Elphick just used his experience there, because obviously he's a big lad, Burke. He's just a little nudge into him there, puts him off his head, and all he can do is just lob it over the top.
Still the Hull fans with their rhythmic little chant. I don't speak the lingo over there, Matty. Did you pick it up over there?
I do. Obviously, I married a Hull girl, so yeah, I speak both languages fluently.
I wonder what that little chant is. If it's broadcastable, let us know on Twitter @WYSD. First half injury time. Eves breaks away again down the right, but he can't get a cross off, and even if he had, there wasn't anybody really arriving early enough in the box to connect with it. Hull press to keep Town inside their own half, and the ball's out of play for a throw. Lichai not sure about whether he wants to take it before the half-time whistle goes. Batty gives it back to the American right back. It's lifted over the top by Batty. He's played it towards the corner flag. There's nobody there. There's nobody there unless he thinks that the bib worn by the ball boy is actually a Hull player. I doubt it somehow. Ball trickles out for a goal kick, and that's got to be half-time.
You do wonder sometimes when you're looking at some of the things that happen on the football pitch. This is the Championship. That ball there, where's that going? There's no runner, there's no nothing. It's a miscontrol. It's frightening.
I found myself thinking that a lot on Tuesday night.
Yeah, Tuesday night. As I said, to watch it back to see if actually the game was played.
Fleming's header back towards halfway after the clearance by Grabara, and Fleming gets a second touch. Elphick then nods it over the halfway line. Device runs up and powers the header back into Huddersfield Town's half. Schindler picks it up and plays a pass forward, but it's met by Burke, and the two back fours have exchanged possession 3 times there. Now Danny Simpson lifts one forward, finds Colin Grant, but his pass is behind Giacobbe's run. Nicely fielded by Danny Cowley, the Huddersfield Town manager. Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0. And Fleming will deliver a throw, which I'll have you bet will be the last thing that happens in the first half. I'm wrong, because there's a flicked header by Eves and then a touch back by Elphick, which almost puts Christopher Schindler into trouble. Schindler plays a bobbly pass back towards Grabara, who drives it forward. And that was a very uneventful last 3-4 minutes of the first half. most of which constituted injury time. But the appreciative applause from the home fans is deserving, and it's a signal that Huddersfield Town have competed, more than competed at times, against a very robust and experienced championship opponent in the form of Hull City. And Town have come close through Grant's deflected shot in particular from the edge of the penalty area, palmed away very well by the ex-Sheffield United goalkeeper.
So for me, I think it will be kind of great for people to be able to put their kind of footprint in the world and show actually kind of other countries how good a cricketer kind of you are and how good English cricket actually is.
That's Yorkshire batsman Tom Kohler-Cadmore talking about the season for Yorkshire and also next year's 100 after it was launched this week. Got perfect timing. Huddersfield Town's players have just come out for the start of the second half. I'll hand you over to Paul Ogden and Matt Glennon.
Well, Town certainly kept Hull City waiting for the second half, and as the players set themselves up on the field, it's very noticeable that Danny Cowley and his brother Nicky, the Huddersfield Town management team, turn into cheerleaders for a few seconds and just rev everybody up and say, come on, give us a bit more. I've asked the team to give you a bit more. You reciprocate off the field. 0-0. Nicely poised for the second half. Winnable by either team, this definitely. And Town are in it. Definitely in it, mate.
More than in it. More than in it. As I say, if they start this second half well, they've got options on the bench as well to change things up when they need to. They've definitely got a chance.
Huddersfield Town will attack from right to left second half when the opportunities arise. That's towards the northern. Fantastic stand away to our left. Hull in the gold shirts, black shorts and gold socks, playing from left to right towards their own supporters on the road from the city of Hull in the south end of the stadium. Batty's chest down for Jarrod Bowen. Hull with the first attack of the second half, but it's not a particularly convincing one. Batty and Bowen literally getting each other's way, but the shunting and the defensive monitoring was being done by Kachunga, Jaden Brown, Lewis O'Brien. Jonathan Hogg volleys the pass back towards Jaden Brown, who plays, dribbles inside his own half and is dispossessed. Batty delivers the cross. It's towed away by Simpson, straight to Tommy Eaves, whose shot is blocked by Christopher Schindler. Still, Hull come again. Honeyman, I think he was thinking about winning the penalty there. He was falling as he jinked in the Town penalty area, but the referee has just let it go. Town play their way out of trouble, and now Chalobah finds Diakabi on the run. Diakabi around the outside. Can he get his cross off? No, and it's rebounded back off the defender onto Diakabi's legs. It's a goal kick despite the promising counter-attack. Let's hope the rest of the second half is this open.
Definitely. I think Honeyman, you're right. If he'd have just thought about actually shooting and trying to get the ball on target instead of thinking, oh, can I go down now? With a delayed reaction, he might have had a bit more success.
I don't like that, man. I really don't. And Huddersfield Town have got players who've been guilty of that recently, but it really doesn't make this watchable as a spectacle.
No, it's not, and it's embarrassing, and the fact they know it's going to be seen over and over again as well just makes it even worse.
Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0. BBC Radio Leeds Digital. Eaves, impressive up front, the big man with blonde hair and square shoulders. Holds off the challenge of Hogg and Schindler behind him, and now lays it off to Likai, who sends it down to the right corner flag. Honeyman does all he can to keep it in play and manages it. Town a little bit dopey on the edge of their box. Latterly, Jonathan Hogg, of all people, failing to clear and realise that Stewart was standing behind him. Hull have the ball as a result. They come down the right side. Nice footwork by Bowen, but equally impressive defending by Christopher Schindler. Stops his run.
Yeah, sometimes I feel Hogg, he gets the shout from the crowd, gets shout everywhere, just a little bit late to react. You can't always say get the big shouts really early. Sometimes you just got to do things quickly.
Lehigh takes ages about switching feet, tees the ball up onto his right foot, but he makes it very easy for Lewis O'Brien to anticipate his movements, and O'Brien blocks the cross for a throw-in, which Lehigh is going to take himself. Level with the right edge of the penalty area that Hull are attacking in front of their own travelling supporters. Honeyman wants a return pass from Bowen. Kachunga's back there to interrupt them. Gets a touch. It's touched by Hogg over the byline. in front of the jubilant Hull fans to celebrate a corner for their team, the Tigers. Across comes Jarrod Bowen, and like so many visitors to the John Smith Stadium already this season, Hull start the second half with a sense of an opportunity. Bowen's corner headed away by Kachunga from the near post. It's another throw into Hull.
Because they know they do the homework. Everyone does the homework these days. They've watched games and I know that Town come out a little bit sloppy, which they have done. A few poor decisions on the edge of the 18-yard box, a bit of tentative defending. Just got to ride this out, though, ride it out and start going forward themselves.
Lichai spots Stewart in space. Stewart underhits the pass backwards towards the Vice. Diakabi was ratting for it, and if he got it, he was away. But the Vice, the Dutchman, got them pass off to the left-hand side. Now they go through Fleming, the attacking left-back, who loses possession and handles it to try and block Danny Simpson's clearance. I think the referee will have given a free kick.
No, just a little deflection. Jerry Brown just chipped it onto the player.
All right.
A little bit of clever play.
Simpson takes the throw-in. Huddersfield Town 0, Hull 0. Jonathan Hogg steers the ball back to Elphick. The players clustered together in Town's right-back position. Chalobah chips the ball over the top with a bit of backspin on it, and it's beautifully set up for Colin Grant. Grant takes on Reece Burke down the right side of the box. Now the cross doesn't reach the chaser. It's cleared to the edge, and Bowen clears Hull's line. But O'Brien is there with Jaden Brown in tandem, and they stop Hull's counter-attack. Here's Lewis O'Brien all alone. Back comes Tom Eaves to make the tackle. But the clearance by Hull is collected by Jonathan Hogg. Hogg's ball into the box, responding to Carlin Grant's early run, is slightly off target, and the ball runs away from Grant and goes over the byline for a goal kick.
Yeah, Hogg can't be looking at Grant there. That's a terrible ball. Terrible ball. He's getting nowhere near it. There's so many options as well, because Hull had sort of down tools because one of their players had gone down injured. Everyone thought it was a foul, and that was a real opportunity to drive at Hull while they were still arguing with the referee. So you don't always get where he dives. You can't expect the referee to blow every single time you go down on the floor.
I'd rather hope that wasn't the case anyway, Matty, because we'd have a very staccato game here today if that was the case. Interesting conversation going on between Christopher Schindler and his opponent Tom Eaves, the Hull striker, in back play. I wonder if Shindy accidentally called him Hef. Diakabi breaks away. Chalobah pushes the ball round the defender and is fouled. Or is he?
Argue that again.
Or is it
he's not done anything. He's not done anything. That's the thing. If he really believes and he drives into the box there, the Hull player will take him out. He will take him out, and it won't be a dive, and it won't be, theatrics. But if he really believes it, Chalobah, that he's going to get the ball, he gets something there. He gets something. Instead, just taps the ball and just sinks to the floor. As I said, I don't think it's a dive. I don't think he's not even looking for a penalty, really. But you know what? He should be looking for something.
He was on his way down.
He should be looking. Yeah, he was on his way down. But if he actually, really drives into the box and gets that ball, the whole play takes him out.
In the event, it was a goal kick. Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0, and Hull attack themselves down the right-hand side. Here, Bowen leaves it for Lichai. Was Batty onside when he made that break to the right? He's got there before the ball's crossed the byline, got his cross off. Eaves heads it up in the air with Grzycki, his teammate, arriving behind him. And the ball is clear. Hull failed to control it after the cross, cleverly delivered. Diakabi runs into trouble in midfield and Stewart tackles him. Now Honeyman works the ball down the right-hand side towards Batty. And Hull are just opening up a little bit now. Burke finds Batty. Batty lifts it across the park. Good looking pass as well. Finds the right foot of Grzycki de Paul. Diakabi stayed down after the attempted breakaway, and the referee has stopped the game at the behest of the Huddersfield Town bench. So Hull won't be able to build on their field position down the left-hand side. Yet another stoppage. Diakabi is going to be helped back to his feet by the Vice, or maybe not. Diakabi stayed down.
I think it's just a little knock on the ankle. I think he's just coming through him a little bit with his studs as he's ghosting past him. Hopefully it's just a little knock and he's alright to carry on.
Been a strange recent period of history at Hull. Admittedly, I'm observing this from a long distance. They were in real trouble this stage of the season last year, weren't they? Then Atkins was brought in.
Atkins did an amazing job. And then he left on his own. He left on his own accord. He said, "Down, I can't work with the current setup."
So what must he be seeing inside the club, I wonder? And I'm not expecting you to answer this, Matthew.
Well, it's obviously the owners. They're wanting to leave. They've been wanting to sell the club for a long, long time. So the investment's not going to be there as much as they'd like to drive the club forward. But I think the expectation is still there, if you know what I mean. So they'll still put all the pressures and all the wants of a team to go in the Premier League without actually giving the money to do it.
Crossfield ball. Missed by Jaden Brown, though, who's in a good position to send it clear. Collected by Jarrah Bowen, whose
great defending now.
Shot is blocked by Bowen in turn, who recovered his position. It stays at 0-0, and here's Lichai. Can't get round Lewis O'Brien. O'Brien, magnificent defensively. Twice he tackles Lichai and supplies Carlin Grant with a breakaway chance now after the second tackle. Diakabi streaking down the right-hand side. Grant is tackled meanwhile by the back-tracking Stewart.
He's got to look to get it out of his feet there, Grant. And you can see Diakabi coming in. You can see other players there. Put it into an area. Put it into an area between the goalkeeper and the defenders and see what happens. Because you're never going to get anywhere with 3-on-1 running into a corner. You've looked up. You can see there's O'Brien, there's Hogg, there's Diakabi. Just ask a few more questions with a decent ball into the box.
There are pockets of quality on both sides, equally distributed. Lewis O'Brien, Jaden Brown. On the Hull side, Eaves, their central defenders. Now they've got to contend with a breakaway by Huddersfield after 54 goalless minutes. Chalobah, though, is tackled by Fleming. And honestly, he never really looked like getting round him in that situation.
That's what I'm saying. He's not looking confident at all, and he's on the ball.
Grant McCann's seen enough. He's beckoned his players over for a substitution. McGuinness is going to be thrown on, maybe. Huddersfield break away in space through centre field. Hogg is urged to give it early to Jaden Brown, who's in the box, but Lichai shows his experience. Throws his body in the way of the cross and concedes the corner.
Yeah, good fast move. One touch, two touch there. Jaden Brown, superb overlap. Lichai there, really good defending, gets himself back really quickly. He's had to, because Jaden Brown's got in there that quick.
Josh Bowler's going to come on from the Hull bench. McGuinness left to stretch and warm up still. And Huddersfield Town have a corner from the left-hand side. Adama Diakabi in position to take Town's corner. We're still waiting for our first goal. But still Town return the punches administered by Hull. Diakabi with the outswinging delivery. It's flicked away by Reece Burke with the faintest of touches. And Grosicki will pick it up on the left side. But even he can't get it away because Jonathan Hogg closes him down. That's
a really good corner. Diakabi, he's got all whip on it. It's away from the goalkeeper, he can't come. Just needs someone to time the run a little bit better.
A mighty collision between Fleming and Chalobah. Fairly done by both players. Throwing Huddersfield Town. Jonathan Hogg takes it. A bit of hurry up from Town suddenly. Reece Burke jumps high to the bouncing ball. Jonathan Hogg claims it in the centre circle. And Jaden Brown is the beneficiary of that header by Hogg. Diakabi dribbles around Eaves, who was flat-footed. Diakabi's ball, far post, headed away by Fleming, who's running backwards on the run. And it's sent out of play by Lichai. Did he miscontrol it and concede a corner? Yes, he did. Corner to Town.
So it's a decent run again. I don't know where's Kachumi going? Kachumi should be making that run to the far post. He's 10 yards past the far post. A decent little whip ball from Diakabi into the box.
The Town fans crank it up. Short corner delivered by Diakabi. Grant's there, scurrying round, crosses low. Schindler volleys over the bar. It was at best a half volley, in fact, and it never really troubled the keeper. But the improvisation, the innovation from Town on the corners, it is there.
Yeah,
trying new things.
Definitely, there's chances. There's training ground moves that we've not seen for a good while. Just unfortunately, a bouncing ball with pace to a centre half on his left foot. It's not really where you want it to be.
Da Silva, the Portuguese attacking midfielder, is going to come on as well as Bowler. Honeyman to be brought off. as well as Batty. So 2 midfielders replaced by 2 midfielders. But De Silva, if left alone to do so, can open up a defence. And the Cowshed loyal is still in fine voice. George Long drives the goal kick into the Huddersfield half. The ball floating through the chilly air from left to right as we look at it. And then a tussle between the fresh sub bowler and Jaden Brown of Huddersfield Town. The left back wins the free kick. And he takes it himself to find Christopher Schindler. Schindler squares it across the front of his penalty area. Elphick takes it away. One touch pass by Danny Simpson. Kachunga fails to keep it in play. And Adama Diakabi has been instructed to watch Bowler, the fresh sub, who is quick. Some defensive duties needed from Adama Diakabi. Jonathan Hogg picks up a loose ball in midfield, enters the centre circle, doesn't really have the options he wanted down the left hand side. Finds Chalobah, who turns it safely with a one-touch pass towards Danny Simpson down the right-hand side. Simpson, Chalobah, nice first-time ball towards Kachunga down the right flank. Simpson continues his run, and his cross on the run is straight at the keeper, George Long.
So I'll give you that little bit of movement again, a little bit of quick passing. Hull can be cut open.
Elphick claims a bouncing ball inside his own half after the clearance by Long. Danny Simpson attacking, places one into the box. Nice idea, but it had to be bang on, that pass, and Carlin Grant wasn't there.
Yeah, Grant's making some really good runs. So getting him behind. Ball sick the defenders, coming in off the shoulder. Just the quality into him is absolutely nowhere near at the minute.
Poor ball out of defence by Reece Burke. Intercepted by Diakabi, who links with Lewis O'Brien, and Town are level with the left edge of the penalty area. Diakabi takes on the defender De Silva. Then the cross far post. Kachunga's there, but he's beaten to it by Fleming.
And he's given a foul away as well.
For the barge in the back of the defender, Fleming, as the header was made, Kachunga's been penalised.
Yeah,
so Town won't get the corner. It's a free kick to Hull.
Defenders in all kind of danger. There's no point committing the foul to just give the ball back to Hull. They've got themselves a free kick in their own 6-yard box, and all the danger's gone. I think it's time for Town to make a little bit of a change now, just freshen things up. It just seems to just need a little bit of something else now, just like Tuesday night, in all honesty. A little bit of freshening up.
Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0. And now a gone of match day number 11 in the Championship season. Nearly a quarter of the season gone already. Still waiting for Town's first home win of the campaign. Danny Cowley has won here, of course, already this season, but that's when he was Lincoln manager, so we'll gloss over that. Any more substitutions coming? Juninho Bakuna, whispered in the ear by his manager Danny Cowley. He's been to the Netherlands to see his boy, and he's been to the barbers since we last saw him at Stoke as well, because he's got a nice red tint on his locks. We don't know the name of the barber, but it looks like a long job. Adama Diakabi, has he kept that in play? Brilliant skill by Diakabi to get round Likai, but Reece Burke volleys clear, and De Silva gives the Adama Diakabi a dose of his own medicine by dribbling away from him, but then he shows too much of it to Chalobah. Chalobah makes the tackle, but the ball spins luckily away for Josh Bowler, who is dragged down by Jaden Brown. That's a free kick to Hull, wide on the right hand side. Now Chalobah got a right foot on the shin in that challenge against De Silva on the edge of the Hull penalty area, and has stayed down. He's hurt.
Looks like they've got their own flying machine, Hull, in De Silva, but again forgets to take the ball with him sometimes. Yeah, Chalobah doesn't seem too happy. Stay down for a while. But Diakabi there, great piece of skill. Goes past the player, and then doesn't beat the first man.
We are all, sing the Hull fans. And you can talk to us after the match if you like, in song or otherwise. No, I'm only kidding. Make it a normal conversation with Joe Townsend and Matt Glennon. 0800 389 3333 is the number to call for the fans forum. 0800 389 3333 if you prefer to take the more discreet form of text. 81333. Make sure you start the message if you're sending a text with the letters WYS, or you can tweet us at WYS Daily is the address to mention, at WYS Daily. And still Trevor Chalobah is down. There's been some heavy tackles in this match. The fact that Town have been prepared to administer them themselves sometimes, Matty, is another sign that they are competing again now.
Yeah, it shows that the upward pace, they're close enough to people to give them a little knock and compete with the 50-50s. I don't think we needed this lull in the game.
I still question Hull's ambition in these circumstances, Matt. They put the bad start to the season behind them. They had 3 losses in August, but none since. It's not that long ago. They were in the Premier League.
Well, no, it's not that long ago. It's again, no,
outside the playoffs at the end of last season, thanks to Nigel Atkins' efforts. But they don't particularly seem to have a plan to win this. They seem to have a plan to avoid losing today.
Yeah, they do. Maybe the word of the backlash that found that Town have actually got the first win and are building something. But it seems to me that, when they've got some big lads, they want set pieces, they want set plays, they want to get the ball up to Eves, who we know by just watching him today, even if you've not watched him before, that he'll work hard, he'll get himself in positions. But in all honesty, Town have defended well again. That's the thing. It's not so much Hull haven't tried, it's the fact that Shindon and Elphick have totally dominated in the air, and Brown and Simpson have been very comfortable with their wingers.
Huddersfield Town 0, Hull City 0, but they still love the Town round here. And miscontrol down the left by Stewart. Robust defending, forced it by Jonathan Hogg. Elphick clears almost to halfway. Poor header back into the Town half by Fleming. Presents it to Adama Diakabi, and immediately he's into top gear. Sprinting down the right. He checks his run and beats Chalobah, who's back on his feet. Chalobah delivers a pass behind the running Lewis O'Brien. It's fetched by Brown, who brings in Hogg. And now Town work down the left side. Jaden Brown needs more space. He goes round the outside of Bowler, who tackles him, standing his ground. Throwing level with the left edge of the penalty area. Brown whips it downwards into the box. Grant tees it up for O'Brien, but O'Brien can't control it, and the ball is sent away now down the right hand side by Hull. Stewart, great work back between Hogg and Lewis O'Brien, but then Jonathan Hogg turns the ball straight back to Jarrod Bowen, and you would never a couple of years ago have dreamt hearing the words "get him off the pitch" from a gentleman behind us aimed at Jonathan Hogg, but you really did hear that live on BBC Radio Leeds, and I must say that still seems a bit vindictive to me, but who am I to
it is, yeah, it is. Shouting it down that achieves absolutely nothing. For one, he's not going to hear it, and it's just annoying in my ears, in all honesty. But they do want him to play the ball forward. It is slightly frustrating. It's not something to whip a man off the pitch for.
Simpson steers the ball in field towards Lewis O'Brien. O'Brien goes back towards Simpson. Town trying to feed the ball to Adama Diakabi, and then Simpson continues his run to the right edge of the box, but he skies his cross. Bit of a rush of blood to the head, I think, from Danny Simpson, but it was a great run.
Not even Jamie Vardy's going to catch that. He must have forgot where he was. No, we're going back to the Hogg conversation there. I'm not sure why he does do that at times. There was a pass forward a little. There was a 1-2. I think if Jaden Brown had stayed up front, there was a 1-2. Just knock it off, get the ball back, and go forward. You don't have to go back all the time. It's not as obvious as that. And if you are going to do it, make sure it finds the target as well and not the man. It's good to see Simpson still in the final third, second half as well. Shows he's starting to kick in, starting to get rid of that ring rust from the small pre-season that he's had. Anticipated
earlier by us and by many of you, Bakuna on for Jonathan Hock. Town breakdown centre field. Lewis O'Brien is tackled from behind by Stewart. That surely must have been a foul. Referee waves play on. Town pick it up anyway on halfway and feed it down with Diakabi down the right hand side. Diakabi delays his pass, finds Bakuna. Bakuna into Grant, who shoots beautifully into the bottom corner. Carla Grant has shot on the turn for his 6th goal of the season, and Huddersfield Town lead Hull City by a goal to nil. They could be on the brink of a first home win of the season now.
What a finish that was. Bakuna has absolutely rifled the ball at Grant. I thought it was actually a shot itself, but he manages to control it, spins on the half turn and sticks it in the bottom corner. Absolutely superb. Yeah, Kabi in the mix there again as well, takes on his man. Nice little simple pass to Bakuna. But wow, the pace that Bakuna put on that pass to Grant to control it, then do the half turn and stick it in the bottom corner, takes himself to top of the goal scoring charts. Absolutely superb. And now, as you say, now it's time to kick on. Hull are going to have to come at it. They're going to have to come out now. They're going to have to put more men forward. Just that means that Town are going to have more opportunities and more space.
I think we'll all agree the game needed that, and we're going to find out what Hull are made of right now here at the John Smith Stadium, because there's still a good 22 minutes left, but Town have earned that lead. Carlan Grant, 6 for the season already, 4 of them in open play, and that was an absolute belter. Carlan Grant on the ball, zips around Reece Burke, checks his run and keeps possession, trying to reciprocate for Juninho Bakuna, but he can't find him because Hull are muscular in defence. And now Bowler goes around the outside of Trevor Chalaba's tackle. Huddersfield Town 1, Hull City 0.
Yeah, you know, Hull are going to have those few minutes now where they're pumped up thinking they're going to come back at it. Town have just got to stay nice and tight in that defence. Decent unit midfield as well, just don't let them get through.
Skill and balance from Likai against O'Brien. Now Grosicki from the pass by Bowen. They bring in Fleming. Grosicki de Paul lurking on the edge of the box. Right-footed toe-bung shot. Headed away by Schindler, but straight to a Hull player, Fleming. And now Elphick is delaying his clearance, but for good reason, because it's a pass that he delivers towards Jaden Brown. Bakuna with strength bails Town out and allows Chalaba to volley the ball clear. Huddersfield Town 1, Hull City 0. The Bice stoops to head towards halfway. Jaden Brown puts it out of play with Fleming in attendance.
They can't be struggling, signalling to the bench.
Yeah,
not a good sign.
And Fraser is the shout. Fraser! Shouted Danny Cowley towards Fraser Campbell. They're going to bring Campbell on for Diakabi imminently. George Long clears Long for Hull City, who trail here at the John Smith Stadium by a goal to nil. Stewart gets the better of Bakuna, who's struggling to chase back. Bowler down the right hand side, left footed, he'll cut infield. There's the chip cross, aiming to the far post. Danny Simpson's there before Eaves can reach it, and Diakabi brings it down. Fleming tackles Diakabi, and the ball runs free off Fleming for a throw into Huddersfield Town. And it's cramp that Diakabi's suffering from now. I think he'll probably be subbed at this point.
Yeah, probably see Kachunga go on to the side. Grant go back to his left-hand side roller, getting Campbell up front. His foot shifting today. I think he's been excellent. Yeah, we know that at times he can be a bit wasteful with the ball, but he's absolutely caused all kinds of problems today, and he's helped create the goal as well by not just putting an aimless ball into the box. Found his man. So Grant does the rest, but yeah, he's got a good shift in today, Diakabi.
Another stoppage after another heavy challenge, and it's Trevor Chalaba who's down again. Now this is the second time he's been down in the second half. We have 18 minutes left. And the Kilderbank's in fantastic voice.
It's not just the fact of back-to-back wins. As last time we saw Huddersfield win on a Saturday, it's been a while.
A long time. No win all season on a Saturday last season. And there were two different Huddersfield Town anthems being sung there simultaneously by the Kilner Bank and the Cowshed Loyal. There was a stand up if you love the town. And meanwhile, Chalobah gets back on his feet. Huddersfield Town lead Hull City by a goal to nil. A really watchable goal scored by Colin Grant with a shot on the turn from pin on the edge of the penalty area.
But Jan Stankovic as well coming on now.
Yeah.
For Chalobah, looks like he's going off.
Stankovic to play as a defensive midfielder in the hog position in front of the central defenders, I wonder. They were thinking of bringing Fraser Campbell on for Diakabi anyway, so there may still be a couple of subs to be made. Diakabi looks okay. He sprinted past the vice, serves up the cross. Bacuna drives in the second goal. A brilliant strike by Bacuna on the run. His second goal in consecutive matches. The roof has nearly come off the John Smith Stadium because Huddersfield Town are about to deliver Danny Cowley's first home win as the new manager. 2-0 Town. Back-to-back wins are in the offing.
Diakabi, Bacuna partnership goes again. I hope when I get cramp I'm as quick as that, because that was unbelievable. But Diakabi just let loose again made the right decision though. And what a finish from Bacuna. Side foot, power into the bottom corner. Goalkeeper no chance long for Hull. We have a second goal again. 2-0 on a Saturday afternoon. Superb, thoroughly deserved as well. Thoroughly deserved by Huddersfield Town this afternoon.
Well, the Hull City players stand almost in unison with hands on hips, and they look gone. Huddersfield Town 2, Hull City 0. Trevor Chalobah has come off, but there are some very detailed instructions being issued to Jan Stankovic as he prepares to go on. What a noise to greet that Bacuna goal on the run, and two superbly taken shots from similar positions have put Town in the driving seat against the team from East Yorkshire.
Not an easy technique from Bacuna at all. That on the run, side foot with power, right into the bottom corner of the goal. Excellent. Send him home more often.
Jan Stankovic is on. Chalobah sub. And Huddersfield Town fans are getting ready to celebrate with songs that are going to have to be drawn out throughout the next fortnight, because of course next week's the international break. Blackburn Rovers next up for Town. 2 weeks today, but it's a lunchtime kickoff, remember, at Ewood Park. 2-0 up, Town come forward again, but Jaden Brown has shown too much of that to De Silva. De Silva's pass is weak to his fellow sub, Bowler, and now Bacuna with a back heel turn, skips and stumbles away from Stewart. Feeds Diakabi, who's fit again, and Diakabi's coming up with tricks everywhere. Into the box he goes. He's shoved and shunted as Fleming touched it last. Corner Huddersfield Town, who are coming for a third goal, I kid you not.
Yeah, well done Bacuna again there. Stays on his feet. They're on the attack. They've got men going forward. No need to go down. Look for the third goal when you've got a chance to go for it. This is what the crowd wanted now. This is what I wanted to hear today. A little bit slow paced, a little bit edgy earlier on in the game, but they're enjoying it now.
Fraser Campbell to come on after all for Adama Diakabi. And this will be the biggest round of applause he's ever heard from Huddersfield Town fans.
And rightly so, rightly so. Great afternoon's work, sir. I hope that, I hope that Bacuna is going to give half goal bonus to Diakabi as well. That's 2 setups in 2 games.
2-0 Huddersfield Town lead. Wonderful atmosphere inside the stadium. Corner delivered by Carlan Grant. Chested down by Elphick. Bacuna drives another one, but it's wide. You can see what he was setting up. This one was scruffy. Goal kick, Hull. And sometimes the noise just speaks for itself, doesn't it? Schindler's fouled Eves after the clearance by Long, and Hull have got 13 minutes left to come back into this game. But it doesn't look likely, I must say.
No, so the Cowleys there applauding vigorously. They must go home and put their hands in buckets of ice, them two. I've never seen two people clap so much. But it's constant, and that's what keeps players on their toes. Because you know, if you're not doing it right, they're on you.
Huddersfield Town celebratory songs ring out as Hull take a free kick, which is headed away disdainfully by Tommy Elphick. The ball's fielded by Fleming, who brings in McGuinness the sub. Stewart squares at Billy Kai. They've gone with a reduced back end of the team, Hull, to try and get back into the game. Here's Bowler dribbling, taking on Jaden Bowen. He shoots. It's a parry by Grabara that saves Town's goal, and the ball bounces away for a throw-in on the right-hand side.
Yeah, it's a good save from Grabara. One you'd expect him to, but the difficulty is actually getting the ball away from a crowded 18-yard box, making sure there's no bits for centre forwards who are lurking round. Likai
with a curling cross. Eves thinks it's being held by Elphick, and I think the linesman had read that situation correctly. Grabara bowls the ball out towards Jon Stankovic and supplies Elias Kachunga with a low pass. Kachunga carries it, slow paced. Bacuna scoring after coming on as a sub for the second consecutive game. And now Bacuna holds off the onslaught from the Hull midfield with a second reverse pass, this time all the way back towards Grabara. Huddersfield Town 2, Hull City 0 on BBC Radio Leeds Digital. 11 minutes left. Bacuna and Simpson. Kachunga finds Danny Simpson. Hull intercept on halfway with Stewart's dive, but the ball sits up nicely for Fraser Campbell. Campbell finds Lewis O'Brien. Lovely back heel pass by O'Brien. Bacuna's pass has hit a Hull player though, and now they break from midfield. Bowler wants it back from Eves, but Eves has taken too long about his decision. Town getting in his way and blocking the option. Stewart, meanwhile, brings in Fleming, the left back. Here's McGuinness, the Northern Ireland international, stepping away from Kachunga. McGuinness is 30 yards out. He's thinking about shooting. He's found Eves by accident, and Eves is standing offside. Flags up. 2-0 Huddersfield Town lead. The result of the season. The result of the year in so many ways. It's been a long time since Town fans have been allowed to celebrate like this, especially at home. On our other frequencies, I must confess I've lost touch. I wonder if our Joe will update us on goings on down in South London. Joe, sorry to pounce on you like that. When the time is right, he said. Millwall were leading Leeds United 2-0 at half-time, and Leeds had a man sent off in the first half. 2-1 now. Leeds United threatening a fight back down at the New Den. And we'll round up all the scores around the rest of the country when we take your calls in the post-match hour on 0800 389 3333. Bradford City lead by 2-1 against Swindon, by the way, over on 774 AM. McGuinness, meanwhile, holds the ball up and feeds Fleming. Fleming lifts it straight to Jon Stankovic, and Stankovic, with precision, finds Fraser Campbell. Town linking well inside Hull territory. You can see the confidence growing in these Huddersfield Town players off the back of their work today. A 2-0 platform. What a pass by Bacuna down the inside left. He's found O'Brien, deflecting cross. Goal, Huddersfield Town! Now Elias Kachunga's in on the act. What a move down the left-hand side. Kachunga pounced on the deflection by a defender, and off the underside of the bar has absolutely capped Town's best performance of the season, probably the whole of 2019. Huddersfield Town 3, Hull City 0. The celebrations can last for a while on this one.
Wow, what a ball. Great ball from Bakuna to start with. Lewis O'Brien, does he put his foot through it? He's on a difficult angle. Goalkeeper probably favourite. No. I'm going to slide a beautiful ball across the 6-yard box. And Kachunga, what he used to do in the Championship, lurking at the back post, being dangerous, putting his body in the way there. Absolutely brilliant. It's the crossbar, bounces in, just for a dramatic effect to make it look a little bit better. 3-0. I can't remember last time we said this. I cannot remember the last time we said this. Absolutely sensational. What a couple of weeks it's been.
Last time they went 3-0 up was at Watford.
Watford, yeah.
In about 19... First Premier League.
I had hair. Yes. 4-1.
Thanks, Joe, for confirming that for us. They scored 3 at West Ham, of course, earlier the year, but it wasn't 3-0 at any stage of that game, because Town conceded first that day. 3-0 Huddersfield Town lead, and they deserve it, and they have earned it,
yes.
And they have taken their chances, and they've been bold. And Bakuna, at his absolute best, is ripping into Hull City. Now he switches right to Elias Kachunga. Kachunga brings it back for Danny Simpson. Stankovic pinging the ball about from the defensive midfield. Now he strides forward, Stankovic, and passes away from Stewart. Jaden Brown and O'Brien. Colin Grant holds off Likai. The ball's loose in midfield and Jaden Brown will claim it. Hull heavy-legged, dispirited, unbeaten. Huddersfield Town are 3-0 up with 6 minutes left. Kachunga can't get past Fleming, mind you. The loose ball from the tackle falls to Bakuna, who for his personal influence on the game could yet be man of the match, even though he came on as a sub. Kachunga's cross, Campbell's header wide, the wrong side of the post. And I think that would have been a mic drop moment for all of us who just walked out the stadium if that had gone in.
Yeah, definitely. But the good thing is, every time a ball comes loose, Huddersfield Town players there. Every time the ball goes into space, Huddersfield Town players there. They seem to be all over the place, which shows obviously massive confidence, and they're in the right place at the right time. That shows that the manager's work is being carried out on the football pitch.
Brown takes it away from Jarrod Bowen. Huddersfield Town 3, Hull City 0. Device squares it. Fleming pings it over halfway for Hull City's gold and black, and they're just going to have to lick their wounds and start all over again. It'll be 4 defeats for the season for Hull City. Free kick. Hull have earned themselves on the far side.
I'm going to say it as well, what I said last Saturday. 7 points from these 3 games. That's what I said. Joe was there, he heard me as well. Had written down
3 consecutive matches. What an 8
days. 7 points from the 3 winnable games is an absolutely fantastic return.
Hull with a free kick wide on the left side. It'll be sent in by Bowen, heads up on the penalty spot area. Device heads up in the air and catches at least 2 teammates offside. The back end of Huddersfield Town has been very, very impressive today yet again, Matty.
Yeah,
and this is 2 consecutive clean sheets to look at the moment, if they can hold on for a few more minutes.
Yeah, it continues, it has been. And it has been the backbone of the performances, because they're doing the jobs well. And it just gives everyone else confidence around the team as well. But you've also got Grant, who spins and volleys the ball in the bottom corner as well, and Bakuna lashing the ball in the back of the net there. Carby ripping people to pieces in that final third, all coming together.
Huddersfield Town 3, Hull City 0. And Danny Cowley's Barmy Army is the chant we've heard most today. The cowshed back to its croaky self, no doubt, tomorrow morning after this kind of sing-song. Stankovic. Elphick turns it back to Grabara, who's played his part today. Second half, a couple of good saves. That left-footed slice clearance is going to be headed back out of play by Da Silva.
Decent save in the first half as well, near post.
Yes.
Inside, powerful strike.
Jaden Brown is going to take his time about the throw-in, and even the players seem to be savouring the moment. Now he whips the throw-in up the left side. Carlan Grant holds it, and it's hooked forward into the Hull half. Device nods it. McGuinness turns away from his opponent, but runs into trouble in the form of Gini Vakuna, who dispossesses it. Jaden Brown is happy to tip it upfield, loosely where Fraser Campbell is running. Rhys Burke guides the ball towards halfway. McGuinness knocks it down. Here's Da Silva. Da Silva has fouled Kashunga. And Huddersfield Town get a free kick. To a backdrop of stand up if you love the town from 3.5 sides of the John Smith Stadium.
There's no believing today.
Elphick lifts the ball into the Hull half. High across the park, but Lichai meets it by heading forward. He won't find bowler because Jaden Brown stands his ground at left back, puts it out of play. Stewart tosses the ball back, and I think both sets of players are going through the motions a little bit now, Matty. Though Eves has tried all day long for Hull. Bowler slips as he enters the Huddersfield penalty area and runs into Christopher Schindler, who clears. Huddersfield Town 3, Hull City 0.
Yeah, you could see he was with a little bit of backup, a little bit of something around him would be a useful player. We said, can he run all the way through the game? He has run all the way through the game, and he's still doing it now, even 3-0 down.
Fleming attacks down the left. High cross, but too high for the tallest man on the field, which is Tom Eaves. And the ball is caught behind him and his marker Christopher Schindler by Camille Grabara. The final minute of normal time, but you don't want this one to end if you're a Town fan. Nor does Lewis O'Brien. O'Brien takes on the Hull defenders and feeds Kashunga, who supplies Bakuna all alone on the edge of the box. He jinks back towards the man who passed it to him. And Carlan Grant was standing good on the left-hand side, but he didn't turn the right way.
Yeah, Carlan Grant's fuming. Just a little ball to his left-hand side there. He's through on goal. Bakuna's looking for his own personal records.
A dust-up on the far side between McGuinness and Lewis O'Brien. And O'Brien will not be pushed around by the Northern Ireland international. Junior Bakuna takes Device away. And the referee's
looking in his pocket.
Call over both players, McGuinness and Lewis O'Brien. There was a dust-up, there was a bit of afters. O'Brien just nudged McGuinness with the boot, and both players no doubt will be booked. But what O'Brien isn't is a shrinking violet. No way.
No, he was definitely not going to be pushed around then. Rightly so as well. Got to stand your ground.
A player very much in the John Worthington mould. Lewis O'Brien has been a breath of fresh air this season for Huddersfield Town. 3-0 the lead, and the Kilnabank beginning to empty very slowly as people plan their celebrations tonight. Long, meanwhile, chips the ball into the Town half. A good header by Eves to bring it down in the box. Then the shot by Da Silva after the knockdown by Burke is wide. And Grabara is a couple of minutes away from another clean sheet for the second consecutive match.
Yeah, the strike there to Silva. No real belief he was going to score. Just a lazy leg thrown at the ball. Hull know it's all over now. Just a matter of the referee blowing the whistle, keeping that clean sheet. An absolutely fantastic result. Well, good afternoon.
And the table's going to look different soon if Town keep this up. They might even improve their position today. They were in the relegation zone, of course, before kick-off. McGuinness spots space and finds Bowler with a straight raking ball, but Jaden Brown blocks Bowler's shot as he enters the penalty area. Grabara, curiously, is committed fully to coming out and blocking Bowler when Jaden Brown was in attendance, and Brown did all he could to block the shot. It's a corner instead.
And a little fist bump as well from Brown. He enjoyed that. He knew exactly how important that block was.
Still 3-0 Town lead. Hull's corner, De Silva delivers. Schindler still working hard despite his first half injury. His steering header away has released Colin Grant, but Grant's tired now and he shows a bit too much of that to Eric Likai. Likai outsprints him and back heels the pass to Stewart. Stewart for Hull, looking for consolation. Schindler tackles Eaves again. Stewart picks up the loose ball and cuts it in field towards Bowen, who drills one weakly and straight at Guevara. Hull's final third delivery, Matty, has been very, very poor.
Yeah, very, very tame. And if you're careful, there's a couple of minutes left in the game. You don't want to spoil your afternoon slightly by conceding the sloppy goal, and make sure they stay disciplined.
Eaves is a player you've got to feel sorry for. He's worked hard, but the supply to him has been predictable. Guevara's clearance downfield, meanwhile, is fielded by George Long. Huddersfield Town 3, Hull City 0. Grant, Bakuna, Kashunga. Spectacular goals, all three, for Huddersfield Town's first home win of the season. A second consecutive win, a second consecutive clean sheet. We were moaning about stats in the hour before kick-off. Now we'll crow about them in the last 8 days alone, because Town are unbeaten in 3 now. And this is the Cowley effect.
Well, the season only started 8 days ago, Augie, so that's all we're going to talk about. After the game, that's all we need to talk about.
Have your say on the fans forum, 0800 389 3333. And if any Hull City fans do ring up to wish you well since you left Hull City belatedly, Matty, we might need the bleep machine, because they've been absolutely shocking in the second half.
Yeah, I doubt that very much. I get a few choice messages on social media this afternoon, which I always enjoy reading. Yeah, they have been shocking. So not mass in the first half. Town did. I think they did shade the first half, but second half they've been superb, absolutely superb. Very clinical, very direct. Didn't show that tentativeness that they showed in the first half. Hence 3-0.
Sponsors man of the match is Adama Diakabi.
Rightly so as well. Good effort.
Kachunga jumps high, works hard to keep Grabara's drifted goal kick in play. But then there's a free kick awarded to Hull. And the goal difference column is going to take another upward jolt now for Town. They were on -9 before kick-off today, but that's significantly reduced with goals number 10, 11 and 12 of the season. They've conceded 18 in 11 matches, which is a lot better than it looked. The final whistle at the end of Huddersfield Town's first home win of the season. And this is a fabulous performance. 3-0 they've beaten Hull City. Danny Cowley has his first home win as the new manager. And this is a turn not just in fortunes, but in standards. It's a reapplication of what Town need to do, and the expectations will rise with it, because Huddersfield Town have been superb today, defensively intact against a big, muscular opponent. patient in their attacks in the first half and merciless in their finishing in the second, with goals by Karlan Grant. Janinho Bakuna, a brilliant shot on the run for a second consecutive match, and then a spectacular finish by Kachunga from O'Brien's cross. Huddersfield Town 3, Hull City 0. It's a mood changer around Huddersfield Town.
Well, folks, listen to that noise. It's a very long time, Matt Glennon, since it's been like that here.
It is 3 goals, clean sheet, 2 games on the bounce. Absolutely fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And thoroughly deserved as well. There was a game plan in place. It was taken out by the players as well. Shows that they're taking on information that the manager's giving to them. They scored 3 goals, and 3 good goals as well. It started the season when Grant was scoring, it was penalties. Did it go over the line? Is it scrappy? Now, smashing volleys in the back of the net, the knocking crosses in. You know what I mean? A superb goal by Bakuna. You know what I mean? It's a tough technique, the one that he showed to score his goal. Just absolutely superb. It couldn't be any different from what we were watching 3 or 4 weeks ago.